Let me get this straight, you're back in your hometown, a massive disaster has struck so you can't get home, and now you're stuck here for the holidays? Well, if that sounds like every Hallmark movie, strap in, as 42 more productions are set to release this year. Hallmark movies are raking in some serious cash, an estimated $350 million in ad revenue every year. Why are they so profitable? What does it take to make one of the 300 movies made in the last 10 years? And how are they able to keep regurgitating similar stories year in, year out? Stay tuned, as today we dive into the monumental business of Hallmark movies. Hallmark isn't just a channel, it's a whole empire with channels like Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, Hallmark Drama, and their streaming service, Hallmark Movies Now. Hallmark is particularly famous for its countdown to Christmas event, and holiday movies are not just feel-good flicks. They're a smart business move. They reel in viewers without breaking the bank on production costs, attract advertisers with all that festive content, and build a brand that keeps people coming back for more all year round. What's cool about Hallmark films is their knack for uplifting and comforting themes. These movies revolve around love, relationships, and that warm holiday spirit. No wonder they've got this dedicated fan base that loves the positive vibes, simplicity, and the promise of a happy ending. During Christmas, over 80 million people catch at least a few minutes of a Hallmark movie, according to Nielsen. While the audiences showed a crazy appetite for these films, the number of movies they made each year also increased. Back in 2009, they had 9 Christmas movies. Fast forward to 2021, and they rolled out a whopping 41. And guess what? That year, over 35 million people tuned in, making Hallmark the #1 network for women aged 18 and above. Speaking of numbers, check this out. In November and December of 2021, Hallmark Channel raked in $147.8 million in revenue, a cool 1% bump from the previous year. They outpaced other cable and broadcast channels in the revenue game. But here's the interesting fact. Hallmark Channel pulls in a third of its ad revenue just from Christmas movies. That's more than $350 million a year, enough to make another 175 films. And you won't believe how cheap these movies are to produce, with budgets often under $2 million. Hollywood blockbusters, on the other hand, can easily hit the hundreds of millions, so why the big price difference? Well, it turns out Christmas movies are a goldmine, and Hallmark's cracked the code. Pumping out 40 new movies a year isn't easy, but they've got it down to a science. Tight production schedules, like around 3 weeks on average to shoot a whole movie, keep those budgets in check. Lacey Chabert from Mean Girls and Candace Cameron Bure from Full House, they've starred in at least 10 Hallmark movies each. Plus, they figured out the perfect backdrop for their productions, the quaint, small-town suburbs of Vancouver. They get tax incentives for using local production crews, making it even cheaper. As Cassandra Karpiak, a travel writer and former Vancouver resident, puts it, Vancouver's many idyllic suburbs like Stevenson and Maple Ridge offer moderate weather, access to equipment from the burgeoning film industry in Hollywood North, and of course, the lucrative tax incentives triggered from hiring Canadian actors, writers, and directors. In return, Hallmark's raking in those enviable viewership numbers. Smart, right? Despite the repetitive nature of these films, with characters often pursuing similar careers, they continue to be a holiday season staple, and people love watching them. Why? Well, they may not be cinematic masterpieces due to cliches and unrealistic romances, but they manage to be enjoyable. Many devoted Hallmark movie fans share a common sentiment. The appeal lies not in sophisticated writing or remarkable acting, unlike other films. People don't tune in expecting groundbreaking cinema. Instead, the charm of Hallmark movies resides elsewhere. The holiday season can be hectic, with the stress of organizing gatherings and gift shopping amidst daily responsibilities. In the midst of this chaos, it's easy to lose sight of the festive spirit. People often turn to Hallmark movies for consistent and straightforward entertainment, providing a welcoming distraction from stressors. Considering these factors, it becomes clear why Hallmark movies, with their formulaic and feel-good plots, experience high demand during the holidays. They are simple to watch and require little effort or focus from viewers, and offer a kind of escape that is relaxing. Sanaya Mayo, a licensed marriage and family therapist, highlighted this phenomenon, stating, "People tend to watch cheesy Hallmark movies around the holidays because it's positive, even though they're predictable. Although the movie may not be that great, it provides a temporary glimpse of optimism for some. Moreover, Hallmark films can trigger the nostalgic feelings of the majority of viewers. The rural settings, old-fashioned family values, and romantic stories evoke memories of a simpler era that many long for." Unfortunately, the American Psychological Association found that 38% of people felt their stress levels increased over the holiday seasons. Pair that with NAMI's worrying finding that 64% of people dealing with mental illness report their conditions worsen over this time period. And you can see why many take to these festive movies for a brief escape during such a chaotic time. So a lot of people out there appreciate the comfort and predictability of movies, but let's face it, some critics aren't too thrilled about the cookie-cutter formula they often come with. And let's not forget that despite the massive success, controversies have been trailing behind this channel. One big issue with Hallmark movies is the same plot for every single movie, complete with the same old cliches. Seriously, once you've seen one, you've pretty much seen them all. It's like they have a playbook. Character returns to hometown, meets old friend, disaster strikes, and boom, stuck in that small town till Christmas. Then, like clockwork, the two main characters run into each other, setting off a flawless romance. Cue the cringy encounters, emotional rollercoaster, and the ultimate happily ever after. It's a pattern that they can't seem to break. And let's talk about acting. The performances in these films often serve as a how not to guide for aspiring filmmakers. The actors consistently break the golden rule of acting. Don't make it obvious that you're acting. Smiles plastered on too much, laughter at jokes that wouldn't crack a smile in a million years. It's the acting that often pushes people away from these films. But wait, there's more. Hallmark movies got slammed for lacking diversity. Take a look at the predominantly white casts and stories tailored to a specific audience. There were even claims that they refused to show interracial couples on screen. In the spotlight, there's Leslie Horat, an extra in the film A Carousal Christmas, later renamed A Christmas Coincidence and A Godwink Christmas. She claimed to Canada's Global News that she couldn't participate in a scene with romantic couples around a Christmas tree due to her skin color. According to Horat, the casting wrangler said, "Oh no, Hallmark has this policy against interracial couples representing in our productions." Other sources backed this up, saying, "It's common knowledge that Hallmark expects people of the same ethnicities to be coupled." Hallmark denied these claims. Even the director of the film, Michael Robinson, hadn't heard of such a policy, but admitted some of these people have been working for Hallmark for over 10 years, and maybe, in their defense, they've picked up some bad habits. And let's not forget the criticism for perpetuating gender stereotypes. Critics argue that these films often reinforce traditional gender roles and present a limited perspective on family dynamics. The controversy escalated in 2019 when former Hallmark actor Hilary Burton publicly criticized the network on Twitter for the absence of same-gender couples on its holiday films, sparking a broader debate on the need for inclusivity in these feel-good productions. The whole thing with same-gender couples didn't just stop at Hallmark Channel's movies. It spilled over into the ads on the network after the 2019 Zola ad controversy. Hallmark initially aired the ad featuring a same-gender couple, but 1 million mums objected, deeming it not safe for family viewing. In response to the complaint, the ad was pulled, with then CEO Bill Abbott citing an error in its broadcast. But pulling the ad caused a whole new mess. People called for boycotting the channel, and Zola said no more ads on Hallmark. Then, after even more uproar, they aired the ad again, earning a thumbs up from GLAAD's Rich Ferraro. This Zola ad drama hit Hallmark hard. The fallout led to the resignation of CEO Bill Abbott, who had already faced challenges with the network's programming diversity. The controversy highlighted the need for change, and as Abbott departed, the network showcased a commitment to addressing the diversity problem by promoting 2 Hanukkah movies. The aftermath of the Zola controversy not only impacted Hallmark's leadership, but also prompted stars like Candace Cameron Bure, known as the Queen of Christmas, to leave the network. Abbott's move to Great American Media marked a new competition with Hallmark, emphasizing the evolving landscape of the entertainment industry and the growing demand for inclusive and diverse content. Despite all the drama, people still love Hallmark movies. They're drawn in by the calming and uplifting themes, providing a cozy escape. Even though not everyone agrees, Hallmark movies manage to create a sense of security and comfort. Of course, there is always a chance that any industry can improve, and Hallmark is no exception. Some people get turned off by the repetitive plots and questionable acting. To get better, the industry needs more variety, creativity, and better writing. Plus, kicking up production values and embracing new tech could give Hallmark a fresh start and keep the audience hooked. But let's be serious, if they haven't changed by now, will they ever change their format? So long as it's pulling in hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm sure execs are comfy with their choices. So as we wrap up this video, let's keep our fingers crossed for positive changes in the future. Until then, as the holiday season approaches, are you ready to cozy up with some Hallmark classics this Christmas? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more fascinating videos.